today we're going to talk about recursive sequences, and what a recursive sequence is a little bit different than the other types of sequences we've been doing. Because what it does is we're not adding the same number every time, we're adding something to the previous term. So to build on a recursive sequence, we're going to be using all the previous terms before it. A recursive sequence has two parts. Okay, this is pretty important. It's a little different than the one you guys saw yesterday because in your formulas yesterday, you just got the formula. In a recursive sequence, they always tell you what your first term is. So they're going to give you what a sub 1 is to start, which is kind of nice. And then they give you a formula part. Now, for what you guys get in this class, I will only give you stuff that looks like this. But what you could also have is the first term given, and then here we have n plus 1 here. Usually it's always just a sub n. So if you had something that was n plus 1, what we have to do is subtract that 1 over the equal sign and bring it to the other a sub n. Right? A little tricky. All yours will already be set up like that for you.
So you don't have to do that.
No. So, yeah, exactly. All right. You could see it maybe like on an SAT. I don't know, maybe in like an intro college algebra class, something. But for you guys, I'm just going to have already set up. It's more just a process that you need to understand. So the more you do of these, the better you get, because it's the same kind of idea over and over again. But it's a little bit weird, so make sure you guys are really paying attention here. Okay? So what we want to start with is your first term. Okay? So I know that a sub 1 equals negative 4. Now, to get the next part of all your terms, if I want to find a sub 2, a sub 2, okay, using your formula, that means that where you saw an n, what did you replace it with? We're looking for the second term. 2, good. Right? If you're looking for the second term, you're going to put a 2 where you see the n. Now, notice in your formula part, you have a sub, and then we have a little n, so we're going to put a 2, then we have a minus 1, and then a big plus 5. Okay. The idea behind recursive is this specific part. What we can do with this a sub 2 minus 1, well, what's really 2 minus 1? Just 1. This is like saying a sub 1 plus 5. So to get the second term, I need to use the previous one. What is your a sub 1? What is it? Good, negative 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that negative 4 and replace it with a sub 1, because that's what a sub 1 really is. So it's really going to look like this. Negative 4 plus 5, which is 1. So 1 is going to be the second term. Now, if I want the third term, that means we're in your formula where you see an n, we're going to put a 3 in its spot. Oh yeah, absolutely. Here. How many do you need? 2, 3, 4, 5? 2. Sorry, I'm just so weird. Yeah, it's in the back. Okay, I'll put your video up online. Okay. So with a sub 3, then you bring the n, you want to put a 3 in its spot. So it looks like this, a sub 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1, and then plus 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce that 3 minus 1. Yep, good, to make it a 2. So we want to look to see, do I know what a sub 2 is? Yeah. 1, good, because we just found it right here. So we're going to take the a sub 2 and replace it. So it looks like this, 1 plus 5, which is 6. Now, once you guys kind of get the idea, do you think we need to do all this every single time? No, probably not. If I want to do a sub 4, okay, what do you think you're going to have to put in this section? Okay. Good, 6, nice, easy. Right, you're taking your previous one, so this is 6, and then every single time we added 5, so the next one would be 11. see the first 4 terms of the sequence. Jenna, we're just using the same packet from yesterday too. All right, your sequence one. Hope you feel better. All right, I know this is confusing. We have like a lot of these we're going to do today. Okay, because once you get it, it'll be fine. But I know it's a little weird when you start it off. That's right. Go ahead.
You want to subtract the 1.
Yeah.
N minus 1.
Oh, like when I did the last one here? Like this part right here?
Yeah.
You can, but like every single time, see how in here you were just taking your previous one and putting it in? Whatever this was, I took the previous answer and put it in. If you know that's going to happen every time, you don't need to do it. If you wanted to, though, if you wanted to actually make this.
Yeah, but it'd be 6 minus 1 and then plus 5.
Oh, okay. It's the term minus 1. So, right, think about it this way. This is the 4th term. So, you're getting a sub 4 minus 1. Now, this part represents the actual term, not a number until you substitute. So, with that 4 minus 1 part, you're going to make that a 3. And then you want to look to see what is the 3rd term. 6. So here's your 3rd term. So that's why you're kind of replacing this entire thing with 6 plus 5. Right? It's not like the actual previous term is being subtracted by 1. It's like the subscript. Good. That was a great question. Good job. All right. So here's another one. So we have 2 formulas. Right? We have our starting one. Right? We have our first term, and then we have our formula part. So for a sub 1. I know that one equals 20. Now, if I want to keep going, I want to find a sub 2. A sub 2. That means in our formula where you guys see an n, what do you think you're going to put in? 2. Oh, well, good. You're already got the idea. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to put in a sub. Right, where I see this little n, I'm going to put a 2. I got a little minus 1 there. And then big minus 4. All right. So with your subscript, 2 minus 1 is really just 1. So what we want to do is figure out what is a sub 1. What was that? 20. Good. So we're going to take our 20. Yep. 20 minus 4. Perfect. Now those of you who are getting good at it, you kind of realize that you're taking the previous one and you know where it's going in. You don't have to do this little subscript thing every time, but just so it like makes sense where it's coming from, is why I'm showing you. Now if you want the 3rd term, a sub 3, okay, where I see an n, I'm going to put the 3 in now, so I have a sub 3 minus 1, then the big minus 4. If you make this 3 minus 1 is 2, so we want to know what is a sub 2. 16, you got it. So we're going to take that 16. Perfect. Good job. 12 is going to be our 3rd term. Now, once you get 3, you can figure out the pattern too. Do you want to keep going to find the 4th one? All right, we can, but you might be able to kind of figure out what's going on every time already. So if you want the 4th one, what do you guys think you're going to be doing? Good. Put your 12 in. Very nice. The 12 is replacing where you had your subscript, and then the minus 4. Jess, what did you say that was? What you? 8. Awesome. Good job. Right. If you want to keep going, hopefully we can kind of tell. Does anybody know what we're decreasing by? Yeah, every single time you guys are subtracting 4. So if I subtract 4 again, my 5th term, yeah, it's going to be 4. Once you guys can figure out your pattern, we can kind of go off of that, but we always need 3 to tell the pattern. Okay, I want to do another one with you guys. Alright, so this next one, I'm going to change part of this. I told you I don't want to give you one that's quite like this. So, we still have a sub 1 equals 4, but I would like you guys to do a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus n. Oh, okay. Thank you. Everyone mentioned it. Okay. All right. very careful with this one. I'll start you off and see if you guys can finish it. Now notice here, how many n's do you have in the formula? Oh yeah, okay, you got this one. And then there's 2 over here. So there's going to be 2 spots where we're going to have to replace. Right, not just one like the other one. We got our formula. And we got the start. Okay. Alright, so a sub 1 is 4. Now, if I want a sub 2, what are you going to plug in for the n? Okay, oh, alright. So are we getting good at going right from that? No, it's okay. You are? No, it's okay. I still want to lose people. If you're good at putting the 4 in here, you can. Just make sure you don't forget this part. Because if you're going to put 2 in where you see an n for the second term, it's going to look like this. a sub 2 minus 1 plus, what would this have to be? 2. Okay. That's one of the reasons why I like to show it all until you kind of get going with the pattern. Now, the 2 minus 1 can become 1. So what is a sub 1? 4. Nice data. So we're going to take our 4, plug it in down here. So it becomes 4 plus 2, which is going to give us 6. So 6 is what the second term is. Now if we want the third term, a sub 3, where we see an n, you're going to put a 3 in its spot. So I'm going to have a sub 3 minus 1 plus, what's this one going to be though now? 3, good job. Make sure you remember to change this every time. So your 3 minus 1 is going to be coming 2. Good job. You got it. So that a sub 2 was really 6. So it's becomes 6 plus 3, which is 9. All right, why don't you guys see if you could find 4? If anybody wants to do it out, feel free. Changes a little bit because for some reason it's a 3 and it's 4. Yep, this is really fine. That's one of the reasons why I show it like it, just because it's really easy to forget it.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh. So make sure this is changing now, because you have it's not plus 2 over there, but it changes at the end. So like when you do 3, it's going to be 3. Yeah, and then from S4. Every always like, yeah, just change that part.
I think I can, I just don't know where we're at.
All right, good.
Okay, good. I don't know where we're at.
Alright, so when you guys did your a sub 4, alright, I saw lots of taking your 9 and then make sure you're changing the n up here, alright, to represent what term you have. So it should be plus 4, which is 13. And then you guys did a great job going to a sub 5. Right, you took your previous term, brought it down. Right, and again, make sure since you're looking for the 5th term and your n was a 5, make sure you add 5 to get your 8. And that looks really good for you guys. Alright, I'm going to let you start your homework because I have a feeling we need to like really sit and help some of you guys with this. Alright, so here's your homework. It's going to be on page 251, 31, 33, and 34. Okay, you only have 3 questions.